Peut-être tout ça. Peut-être tout ça.
Hi. I think I'm here now. I tried to be here earlier, but why is it a theme that right when I'm trying to start the show these days, the internet goes down? Why? Oh my God. Okay. Thanks. I don't know if any of what happened before now actually went through or whatever happened. I don't know what people got. I might find out later. But on my end, it was madness, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Cats are locked away tonight for crimes. One crime is for being baby. Had to be locked away. Honestly, they were being a bit pesty and didn't want them walking around this week. Who knows? It's causing enough havoc with the internet. I think I might be glitching in and out, so that's great. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Variant Editions New Releases Show. My name is Brandon, and as always, I'm here to talk about a whole bunch of new awesome comics, but also just to give general updates and check in with y'all folks. I hope you're all doing well. I've been doing pretty great the past couple of weeks for sure. Learning a lot about different things. I have kind of started a little bit of a quest. I'm gonna learn about a show called The Challenge. I've heard about it. It's been on the fringes of my brain for a little while due to some folks talking about it. Met somebody I want to watch the show with, amongst other things, and getting into the edges of that. Discovered a little something today about some of the people on the show, and I'm ready for a wild deep dive. It's apparently 40 seasons, and a pretty wild thing. Also, this past weekend, I actually checked out, you might have known Jonathan, who used to run Hyperspace. He still does some online comic auctions that you can check out usually on Wednesdays. He was doing one on Sunday kind of before and a little during the store open. It was quiet, and so I had it on a little bit. It's a little fun little atmosphere that he has. I forget what he calls his auctions. Sean could probably tell me. Hi, everybody. Thanks for dealing with all of my madness in setting this up. Yeah. So that was something that I experienced, and yeah, life's going real good. Lots of things to tell you. Some things I'll tell y'all in time, because I'm gonna keep them for me for a little bit here. You know, I always share a lot on the show, but I want to be a little more careful. With some stuff that's happening lately. So good things, though, I can say that. Right before the show, I had some happy pierogies. There is a difference between housing a bunch of happy pierogies and housing a bunch of sad pierogies. And that number is when you get past 8, then it starts becoming sad, especially if you're crying into your sour cream. Today, that is not what was happening. Today, happy pierogies. I really enjoyed them. And it was another wild day in terms of trying to process stuff. The system that we use to bring things in. This is Jonathan's auctions. Definitely look them up if you like doing the single issues and all that kind of stuff. So definitely, what was I saying? Wandering off. I'm getting easily distracted. Sean, you saying that about the hot sauce? Don't freeze on me again. Oh, okay. Reminds me of something. All right, give me 2 seconds. So, when I went to Ireland, one of the things that I saw there was a hot sauce made by Ed Sheeran. I had not been aware of this hot sauce. I thought it was an Irish thing. It is apparently not just an Irish thing. It is apparently everywhere. I was very sad to learn that I could not have in my possession Ed Sheeran's hot sauce. And I'll tell you why somewhat specifically. I was incredibly amused by just the idea behind it. So I don't think Ed Sheeran's a particularly spicy dude. And when I discovered this hot sauce, I took a picture and sent it to a few friends because I thought, funny, the spiciest thing in Ireland, Ed Sheeran, hot sauce. Because boy howdy, do they not do a lot of spices there. So I ended up looking up the hot sauce, Tingly Ted's, and I found out that Ed Sheeran, as a lifelong ketchup and hot sauce obsessive, had a dream to make the ketchup of hot sauces, a not so hot sauce to be dolloped onto everything, burgers, eggs, burritos, you name it. And I really needed to try the ketchup of hot sauces, and it is available in Canada, my friends. So this is something that I'm going to try soon, I guess. If anybody wants to try, this one's the extra hot or sauce extra picante. But it is also still only 2 out of 4 peppers. So hot, but not super hot. So yeah, that'll be fun. See, and I didn't know that this was everywhere. I just thought like, oh yeah, Ed Sheeran, nice little Irish boy with his hot sauce in Ireland. Nope. Carl, you and a lot of folks, honestly. They're I've got an array of hot sauces. I don't go wild hot. I still want to be able to taste. And I'm not into mouth pain a whole lot. It's a pro tip for folks out there. And so I go up a fair ways, but nothing to the point where I'm actively not enjoying my food. Remember what happened that other time you tried something spicy on the show? You mean the spicy gummy bear? Yeah, that ended real bad for everybody involved. I also did the 1 chip challenge live with my nephew. That's still one of my favorite things that I've ever done. But yeah, the spicy gummy bear, we do not speak of that day. No, that was a bad time for everybody involved. All right. So, yeah, I got some not hot sauce going to happen here soon enough. See how that goes and run from there. I know there was other things that I wanted to talk about. I should start writing things down on the shows so that I don't forget and wander off track. That is also a thing when you're just doing it live by yourself, is there's no rudders to keep you on track if you've forgotten what you intended to talk about. I got this just at Superstore, honestly, but apparently they're absolutely everywhere. I've seen people talk about them being at Save-On. Someone was saying that they're at Bianca Moore's. I've heard some No Frills have them. And I always forget, so I just call it Green No Frills. The Green No Frills style stores also have them. Freshco. Never gonna get that right. My brain keeps going, hello fresh, but no, those are the boxes that food comes in sometimes. All right. So, this is something that will be discussed over the next few weeks here, but Variant Edition is starting up their own book club that we're actually hoping to not just be just our customers, but something that the wider industry can take part in. And you know us, we like to curate certain experiences and be mindful about a lot of stories. And so we're taking that approach, obviously, in our selections. And this first selection I picked in part because there's there's been a lot of talk between myself and one of the co-creators of this book. They're put in contact with me by one of the Penguin Random House Canada reps here, and we started talking back and forth about how best to maybe approach selling the book and getting retailers aware of it. I hope some of the ideas really went well, but Lyndon, the information will be in this Friday's store newsletter, and as well as proper links and everything, including a discount code to get the book. I was hoping to have a little bit of everything already now, but I kept forgetting that month's end, especially month's end after you just come back from vacation, is super bonkers, and you need to catch up on a lot of stuff. So that got pushed to this Friday, but I still wanted folks to know about this wonderful book called Undergrowth by Ricky Lema and Danielle Aquilana. I've been able to read this book. I absolutely adore it. It does come with French flaps. Ooh la la. Everybody knows I love French flaps. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to show you some interior pages because I can. But this is a thickle book, a lot of action, a lot of great stuff. And there will be some beautiful, not signed book plates, but like signed prints that will be coming with this as part of the book fair. So, the book fair, the book club. So I'm very excited about that. All right, concept. They're already dead. Might as well save the world. After Red and her friends were killed by invaders from beyond, they're revived inside massive organic battle mechs, and now it's time to take their planet back. This is more of a take in here. The world is being ravaged by 4 terrifying robotic monsters. One fateful night, a group of friends venture out to watch a meteor shower and come face to face with doom, only to find out that their story is just beginning. Returned to life by a mysterious natural power, these young adults are chosen to bear the only weapons that might turn the tide against the invaders. Ancient towering forest entities, which they'll pilot from within. They're enormously powerful, but when you're struggling with the trauma of your own death, is it really the best time to become a living weapon of mass destruction? So this deals with a lot of themes, but dresses it up in battle mechs. So you do get sort of your big exploding, I would say like sort of Japanese style large adventure, but the underpinnings of the story is about sort of like the way we treat the world, the working together and dealing with personal traumas, both in big and small ways. And it's really affected me. I really like it. So I want this to get into folks' hands. It's going to be really cool. Gregory. Variant Editions Book Club. French flaps, no mouth pain. One of these days, I'm going to start making all the weird t-shirts that I want to make, and no mouth pain might be one of them. Because people need to know. All right. So we're going to start talking about some of the single issue comics here. And I'm just going to actually look up this first one here. It's the stalling music. It's the music that I use to stall while everyone patiently waits for this ding dong to get his together. That was a little loud. All right. We have the first issue of The Autumn Kingdom from Cullen Bunn and Christopher Mittens. Christopher Mitten. We like to call him Mittens because his last name is cute. Like a little baby. In the borderlands between imagination and reality, horror and fantasy, master storyteller Cullen Bunn and visionary artist Christopher Mitten. See, this is why a lot of times I shouldn't say the creators' names up front, because they always include them. Begin one family's labyrinthian descent through a perilous forest where the local folklore is anything but a myth. Best-selling author Andrew Keir has found the perfect place to finish his latest dark fantasy novel, an idyllic remote cabin on the edge of a lush Swedish forest. A remote cabin. Nothing bad ever happens in remote cabins. His young daughters, Summer and Winter, gleefully explore until they happen upon a strange clearing of ancient statues, goblins, dwarves, elves, and a warrior queen mysteriously missing her sword hand and weapon. When something sinister follows the girls home and viciously snatches their parents in the night, the sisters' only hope may be that ancient relic lost in the forest underbrush, waiting for a new champion to take it up. So kind of, dark fantasy, much like the authors writing in the book. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Carl. Yeah, I thought you might really enjoy it. Art style, themes, story in general. Like, it's just a gorgeous book and a wonderful story. We also have The Exceptional X-Men. This is the third big tentpole X-Men book in this new season of X-Men comics. This one functions more as, I would say, the Generation X book. So more of the teen team with some of the more adult characters playing a role as Mentor, Emma Frost, Kate Pryde. This is by Eve Ewing with art by Brandon Carmen Carnero. And Eve Ewing is a wonderful writer. She definitely comes from the world of books and is really good at exploring a lot of underprivileged folks within society, which I think is very suiting for an X-Men book, especially one more about the teen characters trying to work their way and function and help the world, basically. We also have this grumpy boy, Conan, Battle of the Blackstone. There is some blank covers for this as well, although I believe they're shaded like a purpley blue, so not a full crisp white to draw on if anyone's looking for blinks of Conan books. This Conan book in particular, Battle of the Blackstone, is a big story that's been building in the main Conan book for about a year now. And so they're really going to push through on this one and deal with the titular Blackstone, which seems to be infecting people. And then bad things happen. Carl, I will get you down for that. Just let me make a note here so that I do not forget when I get in tomorrow. Da, 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 da. All right, perfect. And Sean, I will get you the Exceptional X-Men #1. Okay. We also have the first issue of Jeff Lemire's A Minor Arcana. You might have known Jeff Lemire's work from the TV shows that have been made from his work lately. Essex County and Sweet Tooth. This book is about a young woman who goes back to her small town to help out her mother. And let's just say their relationship isn't that great. But obviously in a book that really draws heavily off of tarot, there's a lot of gentle mysticism built into this, a lot of family trauma, a lot of bonding, a lot of going back to your old small town and just feeling those wounds kind of as though they've never left you. This is a book that gets deep into the bones. I've read the first 2 issues of this because they've sent a PDF, and it is absolutely wonderful. Jeff Lemire is always really good with pulling out a lot of good emotion when he's telling a story. And yeah, it's a thick book too. There's a lot of pages for this first issue, so you'll be getting a lot of good content for a really decent price. All right, Lyndon, I will make sure that you get a copy of that in your file if it's not already. And you as well, Sean. Thank you so much. I really think both of you are going to enjoy that book. It is absolutely outstanding. And I really like that I've got a bit more of the roadmap because I can kind of recommend it more directly to folks instead of just being like, well, the first one kind of felt like it's going this way and will be these things. And yeah, I'm just, as usual, Jeff Lemire, I don't know how he has the time in the day to do all of this stuff because he's writing and drawing a monthly ongoing book that has multiple extra pages. And he's still doing a couple of upcoming books for DC. He's doing even some other creator-owned stuff. Continuing Black Hammer. Like I don't even know how the man functions, but he is also apparently usually at least 6 months ahead of any of his deadlines. So very cool. Yeah, Essex County is one that lives rent-free in my brain. I love kind of that magical realism storytelling in general, but to have that happen in sort of a rural Canadian setting, obviously when I was reading it, and I think the first ones came out when I was in my mid-20s, boy, what a time to read something like that. It's like this bit of Canadiana and feelings of isolation in like small rural Alberta just like bleeding through. Yeah, so good. We also have Plastic Man No More. Or there's a from forever ago, a weird joke that Chip Zdarsky had his Marvel Ideas book, and this is before he was the Chip Zdarsky who was working for Marvel and DC. It was when he was just more of just the full-on goof mode, and it had some wild stuff in there that was weird and dirty, like Chip is. And every time I see this sign, I think of he made a joke of just like a saucy Spider-Man book called Spider-Man No More. And so that's all I hear when I see this. Plastic Man No More. But this is a Black Label Line book, so it's out of continuity. It focuses on Plastic Man like his original stories were, which were a little bit goofy but very dark humor, and just sharp, absolutely sharp. Eel O'Brien might be a superhero now, but before he was anything else, he was a crook. Until the accident that turned him into the pliable Plastic Man, Eel was bad to the bone. They certainly put that. And just because he no longer has bones doesn't mean that's not still true. When an incident on the Justice League mission leads to catastrophic cellular damage, Plastic Man discovers that he might be out of time to make amends for the past that he's tried so hard to outrun, or to save the soul of his son, who, unfortunately for him, might have inherited more than from dear old dad than just superpowers. It's from the Eisner Award nominated creative team of Christopher Cantwell and Alex Linz. Folks outside of comics might know Christopher Cantwell as the creator of the TV show Halt and Catch Fire, which was really good, that Lee Pace was on. And they bring you the 5 words you thought you'd never read. Body horror, Plastic Man noir. So I don't know if I told this story last week, but over the course of my vacation, Oh yeah, absolutely, for Essex County. It's harrowing. So on my vacation in Ireland, I was with some family members, and we stayed at great friends of ours. And one of the nights, I was one of the main caretakers for the two youngest, both my niece and their young daughter. And out the back, they had this playhouse that the two were playing in, and I was kind of monitoring. And I was being brought different things. First, my niece brought me a cup of tea with a knife in it and said, "Uncle Brandon, here's your tea. Pretend that you don't see the knife." So murder, of course, was on the menu. And the other young lady started bringing me different items from the kitchen. And it started with, like a fake chicken leg. She goes, "Eat the food." And I'm like, "Even the bones?" And she goes, "Especially the bones." And so I start eating it, and being Uncle Brandon, I was like, oh God. Ugh. And so then she starts bringing me all kinds of different things. Cake. Oh, I'll eat the cake. And then she goes, "There's bones in it," as I'm eating the cake. And then the joke is, I go, "Ah!" So everything in this kitchen has bones in it, including hot sauce. And so this reminded me of, like, even though he's got no bones anymore, of just like the sheer weird body horror of this child feeding me all kinds of food that shouldn't have bones in it, but there are bones in absolutely everything. I was also describing Dogman to somebody this weekend, and she rightfully pointed out that it sounds horrifying, because the original premise of Dogman, which is the best-selling comic book series out there today, you will see it in grocery stores, you will see it in pharmacies, you will see it absolutely everywhere. It's huge. The premise of Dogman is a policeman and a dog got into a big accident. There was an explosion, and the body of the cop was fine and the head of the dog was fine. So they sewed the head of the dog onto the body of a cop, and now he basically fights crime. And that's Dogman. It was rightfully pointed out that sounds horrifying, but it is in the context of children logic, which is apparently somewhat adjacent to body horror. So that's a neat thing to learn. All right. Speaking of comics for kids, Marvel is still trying out in a new all ages line. This one with Spider-Man: Homegrown Heroes. This, I would say, is not like an earliest reader thing, but I would say for ages 6 to 8 ish. This is a really good read for, and honestly, I can't count how many times people were like, "Oh, but I want like a comic for my kid." You know, these days, most of the comics for kids are in graphic novel form. I do always like to have a little bit of a selection, and especially, like, there's not a whole lot of selection of Spider-Man all ages stuff that Marvel actually produces themselves. Scholastic actually does most of that work for them, and it has been, the Scholastic comics have been some of Marvel's best-selling comics of the past couple of years. Scholastic knows what they're doing, because they also do Dogman. We also have Star Trek number 500. This is the 500th issue that IDW has published of Star Trek. It's got a little flavor from each era and a little something for everybody. I know 121. 121 is Punisher, right? I'm sorry, my brain sometimes. We have this first issue of Trinity Special. This collects all of the backup Trinity stories that have been happening in Wonder Woman. Trinity, for those who don't know, is Wonder Woman's daughter in our current timeline, not yet born, but in the future, goes on adventures with Superman and Batman's kid. These have been so much fun, and there's a tease of more Trinity comics to come. Right. I knew it was very important. My brain was just like, this is one of the absolute tentpole Spider-Man comics, Brandon, and you really should know this. It is part of your job. Oh my goodness. All right. Finally, for single issues, we have What If Donald Duck Became Thor? This continuing the line of Disney mashups that have been happening. First, they started on covers, and now they're there. Full comics with, according to some of my customers who are more well-versed in the Disney Duck books, features some of the best European creators currently working on the Disney Fair overseas, because Disney comics are huge overseas. All right. We're getting to the graphic novels portion. Not a whole lot this week, but boy, does next week seem like some doozies. We have Gigatown, a guide to manga iconography. Manga symbols, manpu in Japanese, are iconic or symbolic expressions used uniquely in manga, such as, and then it shows different symbols. Gigatown, a guide to manga's iconography, is brackets probably Japan's first guide to this manga iconography, collecting and explaining these symbols, with a short manga featuring the frolicking animals of the famous Japanese scroll. I'm never gonna get this. Chuju Jimbutsu Giga to explain each one. We've got the second Batman and Robin and Howard graphic novel. I always say, and Howard? Because there was a wonderful kid who came into the store one time, looked up and saw one of the issues of this and went, Batman and Robin and Howard? And was just like, the expression felt like she was like, I haven't heard from him in years. Good for him. It was so wonderful. Anyways, this is a story about a young Robin basically going to school and having some more school level kind of shenanigans. This is part of DC's graphic novel lines for younger readers. And Jeffrey Brown is absolutely wonderful for this detail. They even have some suggested readings of his from the back, because he also does quite a few other things, including he does all the Darth Vader and son, Darth Vader and daughter stuff that the Star Wars people have always gone cuckoo bananas for, because it's a story about like a dad and their kids, but with Star Wars goofiness thrown in, and they're always very sweet. DC is also continuing their line of compact graphic novels. These are $10 American, and just we sell them for $12.99. They're $13.50 in Canada. And what these are sometimes thinner but sometimes thicker graphic novels, usually at least 12 issues. And books that are usually 12 issues for Canada are usually at least $40. So they're using these as gateways to folks. You have Harley Quinn and the Gotham City Sirens, collecting a lot of work from Paul Dini, who worked on, was one of the main creators of the Batman 90s cartoon. A lot of people really enjoy his stuff. And then he was doing a line called Gotham City Sirens, featuring Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, as they do various crimes. Speaking of crimes, we've got the Joker graphic novel from Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. This came out around the time of Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. And yeah, I want to say The Dark Knight. My brain's not functioning tonight. And this really has a lot of great... it's creepy. It's very creepy. And the art style is all kind of like more detailed and painted like this inside. I believe we did, but I'll have to check. I'll write it down. But I know I will be getting some restock soon. I just placed huge orders for the line because they're also sending us a nice stand to put them in, and I'm very excited about that. We also have a brand new Bluey hardcover book. Kids friggin' love Bluey, and for good reason. It's a beautiful series about a great family, and teaches kids good dynamics on how to deal with friends, siblings, all kinds of different situations, and is also very interesting for parents. I've not yet met a parent who wasn't almost completely in love with this series. And so we have a lot of Bluey in the store. This also features a lot of Bluey's family. You get to meet them all in different ways. And like I said, kids love Bluey. And finally, we have Full Shift. Another graphic novel by the folks who did Coven, which we have a bunch of for bargain in the store. We found some from our bargain distributor, and Coven is one of Danica's favorites. This is definitely a similar feel. Tessa feels like she doesn't fit in anywhere. Not at school, where she can't figure out how to confess the feelings she has for her best friend Maddie. And definitely not at home, where the other werewolves in her family make her feel like an outcast because she can't even shift into her full wolf form yet. Sometimes she thinks her whole life would be easier if she wasn't a werewolf at all. When word gets out that a group of werewolf hunters has infiltrated her pack's territory and that they've developed a cure that may make werewolves human, Tessa thinks she's found the answer to her problems. But when she discovers there might be more to the hunters' plans than anyone knows, it's up to Tessa to put herself in the line to protect the lives of those she loves most. And the only way to save them is to embrace the wolf inside her that is howling to get out. This is a book for the spooky kids. Every time we do a school book fair, we always have a big selection for the spooky kids because they're always there. They're in every grade, and they want some spooky books. And sometimes you just can't find those in school. The book I was trying to remember the other day was a Dungeon Club Roll Call. The second one in the series just came out. Absolutely, yeah. And our kids have read it a lot. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy about that. All right, folks. I'm going to wrap this up today. But as always, thank you for being there. And before we leave, why, it's the magic mirror, the one that is completely unique to us. We came up with this. We look out and we see all of you wonderful people out there who have been watching tonight, and we say thank you for being here. We hope that you know that we're around for you too. I'm looking out. I'm seeing Bryce. Hello, Bryce. I'm seeing Ben. Hi, Ben. I should set up delivery for you this week, Ben, because I think I have one or two things for you. I'm seeing Sean. Hi, Sean. I'm seeing someone random on Twitch. Hello. I'm seeing Carl. Hey, Carl. I'm seeing Lyndon. Hi, Lyndon. I'm seeing Craig. Hi, Craig. French flaps, no mouth pain. And I believe that is it. Well, I'd like to thank all of you for watching today. I hope we all learned something. I don't know what we learned, but I hope we did. That's how we get through life. All right. Thank you all for watching once again. I will be in the store for several hours this week. Which ones exactly? I think I've still yet to determine properly. But yeah, you'll see me Wednesday. You'll see me Thursday. You'll see me for at least a little bit of Friday. And who knows? I don't know. I'll figure this all out eventually. This whole running a store thing, who knows? That's good. We learned no mouth pain today. All right. That's awesome. Thank you all for watching. I'm rambling. And I will see you all again next time. Bye.